excited to have you viewing today and have a wonderful guest who also happens just as signed up as a sponsor for our show, Jackie Milanes with All Things Jackie. And we'll talk a little bit about what she does, but on top of being an serial entrepreneur, she's also the president of Gilded Lilies, which is an offshoot of or a fundraising arm of Easter Seals.
Yes.
So welcome to our show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Oh, well, so happy to have you. And we go way back. When I say she's a serial entrepreneur, I first met you when you were actually had the blow dry salon.
Blow and dry. Yes.
The blow and dry. And we became fast friends.
Yes, we did.
And we actually started doing nonprofit stuff together even back then.
Yes.
Your kids were in high school.
That's right.
And I remember you're doing, there was like a market.
I did a little bit of everything from back to school supplies to peanut butter and jelly funds, fundraisers, any kind of opportunity I could get in with the community. I was always there and present, and I still love doing it. So I'm very, very happy to be a part of anything.
And then she got roped into being the president of the Gilded Lilies.
I did. Completely roped into is the right word.
I know it is because, I know people that were involved in that before.
Yes,
so great group of people,
yes,
great charity. Easter Seals, we'll go into a little bit what they do too. But first I wanted to talk to you about what's coming up pretty soon. What do you have anything planned, and what's happening with Gilded Lilies right now?
Okay, well, that's really a great question. Thank you so much. The support of Gilded Lilies through the community over the past 30 years has been amazing. So I'll just start a little bit what Gilded Lilies is. Gilded Lilies is an auxiliary group for fundraising for the Easter Seals of South Florida. So what Easter Seals does is they provide services to children who have different learning abilities, including on the autism spectrum. So it's a beautiful program, and it works for children all the way from 3 months all the way up to 22 years old. So it's pretty incredible. So I
see
really
most
blessed.
People don't understand the scope of what Easter Seals does.
And that's just with children. And then for the elderly community, what they do for Alzheimer's and dementia patients is also incredible. So for me, just to have those two such different reams of people to
groups
work
of
with,
people,
right?
really.
And
you've got the youngest and the oldest.
Absolutely.
And sometimes Alzheimer's are not that old either.
No, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, dementia or Alzheimer's could hit at almost at any age. We've had patients probably in their 40s already as patients. So what Easter Seals does is truly just incredible, and I'm so honored and blessed to be a part of that foundation.
My guest coming up is Lillian Sayre. And Lillian is super involved in the Alzheimer's Association, very supportive because she had a mother that passed with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
But I need to get you two together because
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of synergy there, and I love putting people together.
That's great.
We can do a fundraiser for both of you at the same time.
I would love that. Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be great?
Love that. There's a huge fundraiser coming out in April. April 18th, if I'm not mistaken, is the date, and it's strictly for the children with autism. But we're getting a lot of support from our Easter Seals community as well there. So I'm super excited about it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, because of the Coral Gables Women's Club is right across the street from Crystal Academy. We're doing stuff with, and I say we because I'm a member of the Women's Club too. We're bringing the kids from Crystal Academy over to the dental clinic to get them used to being in a dental office.
Which that dental office is so spectacular. I want to go there. It's just perfect. It's a perfect place to bring your children for the first visit. I absolutely love that the Women's Club of Coral Gables is just really in charge of that and making that happen, because I just think it's so important in our community. And not only that, I mean, just the experience that the kids have. I mean, it's just great. So many people are scared of the dentist. And I think if they were to start out in a platform like this and a like this, that they would be great. So I love
the murals on the wall makes you, for people that haven't been to the dental clinic, you're absolutely welcome to, after COVID, after, right now we're not letting anybody in that's not a patient. And we're desperate for funding. So I don't know how Gilded Lilies is dealing with it, but a lot of Zoom calls,
It has been a lot online. Of the Zoom calls, definitely. It's been a lot of just in-mail donations, quite frankly. We've been able to survive. Easter Seals themselves has a great community, and they really have pulled forward and done a lot of online fundraising. I'm happy to say that in May, they're going to be having their first event of probably the 2 years. It's going to be a golf event. It's going to be in the Broward area. Yes. So they're gearing up towards that. I believe it's called Golf Fiesta. So I'll send you information. I'll definitely, please check out the community newspaper. I'm sure we'll have a lot of information on that.
Exactly. And I bet a lot of golfers are going to be so happy to be getting out and playing again.
Absolutely. We have seen a lot of RSVPs come through. So I'm really excited.
I bet. Yeah. No, it's funny because there's going to be a backlog for everything.
Yes.
For weddings. And I've got a daughter that's getting married, and we were talking about that. We go, oh my gosh, she better start planning pretty soon, because all these the people that didn't get married that are waiting.
Absolutely.
So.
But how exciting to be back in community again and celebrating.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right?
Yeah,
we're waiting for that. I think everyone's waiting for that.
Now, she's too young to have gotten the shots, but I've gotten the vaccine, so I'm feeling a little more comfortable. But I do wear my mask.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to take a chance.
No,
not after going like a year and a half or 2 years without.
I think at this point we've kind of gotten used to the masks. I find myself in my car wearing it, and I'm just like,
I know,
what
me
am I
too.
still doing
And I go,
with it?
what am I doing?
Yes.
No, I was wearing it up front with somebody who's already had both shots, and he goes, "Why are you wearing your mask?" And I go, because I always wear my mask.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to come here and be able to talk to you without a mask, right? Yeah. So let's talk about what do you want to talk about? Let's talk about all things Jackie, because that's really exciting.
Yes, it is.
Jackie has 2 daughters.
Yes.
One's in New York and one's in Hawaii,
That's
right?
Correct. Yes.
And you left here after we met. You left and moved to Hawaii. And I go,
did.
What the heck is she doing in Hawaii? So
living in paradise. That's what I was doing.
Right. But now you have kind of a business.
I do.
Okay, so tell us about all the crazy stuff you're involved in.
Okay, so I did in fact move to Hawaii, and it was wonderful. I sold the blow dry bar, and I moved to Hawaii with my husband and my youngest daughter. And I was in Hawaii for a little bit over a year, and absolutely just fell in love with it. Felt like home. It was just a magical place. It truly was magical. And then I came back, and I was really kind of looking for my purpose. What do I do? I've been a serial entrepreneur, and what do I do now? So I pretty much took a sabbatical for a couple of years, and now I'm back. And so I decided to brand myself with all things Jackie M, and just kind of let the world know what I'm doing. And basically, I'm an insurance agent. I'm a real estate agent as well. I'm a super host for Airbnb.
Now, the Airbnb is where?
It's in Hawaii, in Waikiki. We have 2 properties there. One is City View, and the other one is a beachfront. So it keeps me very busy, but I absolutely love it. I love being able to share aloha with, the whole world, whoever books there. We really, I feel like I'm sharing a piece of the island with them, and I absolutely love doing that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, and how did you get your husband, and you got Geico in Palmetto Bay?
I'm super excited about that as well, because Geico, for most people, know Geico as an online presence.
Exactly.
And they didn't really have offices here in South Florida. And so we were fortunate enough to apply. Out of 400 applicants, we received the opportunity to have a Geico agency, and I'm super pleased that it opened up in Palmetto Bay on 170th and US 1. So I'm just like thrilled about that, because that's a community that I love. I've raised my kids in. We've been in that community for so many years. So it really is such an honor, and I just feel so alive in that community. And so seeing a big company open there, it's just been wonderful. Truly a dream for us.
Well, you know, I raised my kids in Pinecrest, so I appreciate,
Yes.
you know, that hometown feel that you get.
Yes.
And there are certain communities that have that.
Yes.
You know, Coral Gables is another one's great. South Miami. There are so many great neighborhoods in
Yes,
in
absolutely.
Miami-Dade County. And I live in Doral now, and I'm
That's
part
a
of
great that's a great community as well.
it absolutely is, and I've come to love it. I guess because I got involved in the church.
Yeah.
You know, when you have to get involved in something, and when you first move someplace, if you've got kids,
Yeah.
that school will get you kind of connected, and
Right.
church or whatever. But if you don't have kids and
Right.
you move like I did, you know, church has been you know, a great way to meet new people.
Absolutely.
Aside from, you know, our businesses, getting out there and meeting people, and
Yeah.
so I don't have a problem making friends, and
No,
you don't either.
I
You
don't
don't
think so,
either.
no.
Do you remember when I first met you, we did what was like a pop-up for, remember the shoes that you painted the toes? What was it called? It was,
I don't remember.
There were tennis shoes, and we were helping somebody out, and part of the money was going to an orphanage or something.
Oh my goodness, I can't even remember.
It's like,
we've done so many
years
things.
Ago.
We've done.
But
so
actually, we also, you know, one of my other sponsors for this show is Clutch Burger.
Yes.
And Clutch
Steven,
Burger, as everybody knows who's ever watched my show, does a monthly Gringo Bingo. Oh my gosh, guess what? We're doing a singles mingles Gringo Bingo.
Singles, mingles, Gringo Bingo. Say that a couple of times.
Yep. You know, that's going to be one of the challenges we give the people that come to it. You have to say it 3 times in a row, and you get an extra bingo card. But I had some friends that said, you know, why don't you do one of those events for a single? So I came up with this, singles, mingles, Gringo Bingo. Yeah, it's a good idea.
I like that.
So I told Steve about it, and first he said, but we actually did one of our Gringo Bingos. We do this all under the umbrella of the Coral Gables Women's Club. Yeah. And we actually did one for Gilded Lilies because
we did.
Jackie's my friend, and I had to help her out. And she
grateful.
got recruited.
Yes. I did.
She got recruited to take over as president. And, you know, I've been there. I've joined clubs, and then all of a sudden you're in charge of some massive thing. And you go, how did this happen to me? But you're just a natural leader, so it happened to you.
Thank you.
But yeah,
I'm
but
so
it was
grateful
fun.
for that Gringo Bingo. We had an event there, as you mentioned, the Coral Gables Women's Club puts this together, and we all meet up and play bingo, and I absolutely love it. I've taken my mother-in-law, I've taken friends, I've taken family members, absolutely love it. And this particular Gringo Bingo that we hosted, I think it was in July, if I'm not mistaken, of 2019.
It was inside. Yeah.
It was inside, right? This is how we have to term ourselves now, inside versus outside.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely wonderful. It was, like I said, in July in 2019. So typically Gilded Lilies doesn't really do many events during the summer. So I was so happy to be able to have this event. And we raised such a great amount of money that
for 2 hours.
For 2 hours.
It was like
$1,300 that we raised, which was amazing. And those monies, because 2020 was such a dormant year, we actually were able to, because of like little events like that, we were actually able to make that contribution to the Easter seals. So that was really, really wonderful. And I really do owe a lot to that Gringo Bingo event.
Oh, you're so funny.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true.
So,
and Steven, my goodness, first of all, the food is amazing. So if you're watching, definitely you got to try Clutch if you haven't already, which I'm sure he's been on this podcast many times, and really everybody should know him. But definitely the work that he does in our community is just amazing. So I'm so happy and proud of his success and his story. So truly check him out.
So all the singles out there on March 16th, the day before St. Patrick's Day.
There you go.
We're doing this singles event, but you don't have to be single to go. We will give you something to designate if you are single, so other singles know you're single.
Okay.
And we're just going to have it's going to be a little different. It's going to be like we're going to charge $25 and you're going to get one drink.
Okay.
So you could, and then the first 45 minutes maybe you mingle.
Okay.
And then after that, we play bingo.
I love it.
And DJ Jermaine is going to come again.
Oh my God, how fun.
So, and then 2 weeks later, we have another one, and that's the regular one.
Yeah.
So, and that one, who I'm trying to remember who we're going to start the women's club. You know, because we weren't able to rent out our clubhouse, and that helps us pay for the dental clinic.
Definitely.
We started giving the last 2 or 3 times, all the money went directly to the dental clinic, but now we're going to start gradually including other charities again, like we did with Gilded Lilies.
Oh, wonderful.
So half the money will go to the dental clinic, and the other half will go to
Beautiful.
A charity.
Absolutely.
And we had a backlog. I mean, in
I'm
2020,
sure.
we actually did 9 events in 2020, despite it, because we did one that was a hybrid, and then we started doing them outside with spacing once we were able to do that. So we raised $14,000 in 2020. Which is crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Yeah, for 9
you should
charities.
Be so proud of yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of of the community to come out and do things. And, so Gilded Lilies. Oh my gosh. So what's your membership like? Do you need to recruit? What's the deal there?
We absolutely need to recruit. We're always looking to recruit. Really want members who are involved, who enjoy our mission, whether it be dealing with the children or with the elderly community or the Alzheimer's community. We just want people to be involved. I think that's truly what we want. And a lot of our demographic at the moment is like I said, the club itself has been around for 30 plus years. And so the ladies who started this are, definitely in the elderly population. So we really are trying to take care of them, but we need new energy in our club, and we need to definitely recruit. So if you're looking for something to do in our community, please consider joining Easter Seals or the Gilded Lilies for sure.
Yeah. And now, Gilded Lilies, do you have regular meetings? How does that work?
Well, right now, I mean, it's really been dormant. Like I mentioned to you, a lot of our population are elderly. So we really have not.
Do they know how to Zoom?
It's been difficult. Email is difficult. We're talking about a population who's in their 70s and 80s. So it has been a little bit of a challenge doing Zoom meetings or anything. We did something for Christmas that we had about 10 members get together at Shelly's house, and that was great. Shelly her mom actually started the Gilded Lilies.
I know.
So
and Shelly
was president, and
she's like
been
the best.
Involved forever, absolutely ever. And so she was kind enough to host something in her house for Christmas. And so then we had something, but it's just not safe enough yet until everyone kind of gets their vaccines or whatever protocols they're doing to really start meeting up again. So just trying to make it happen.
Yeah, well, it will. It
will.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So now let's go back to one of the things you do. I mean, this woman is real estate, insurance, whatever. But one of the things we were talking about is, and this is more business than it is nonprofit, but I guess it could be nonprofit too, about how kind of the consulting you do with regard to real estate and your credit score.
Absolutely.
We're talking about that.
Yeah. So a lot of people are really anxious during this time. There's people who've lost their jobs, and unfortunately their credit scores have suffered. So definitely something that I'd like as an added benefit in what I offer, besides just being a real estate agent, is also for families, for people who are looking for homes, to start really helping with their credit. And so I have a program that I offer to prospects and clients alike, so that they could really start increasing their credit probably about 6 months before they actually are ready to buy a home. This is really important. We want to make sure that people are receiving the best interest rates possible, that they are receiving the best, quality of care possible as well. And I really believe that in order to get the best rates, your credit has to be just maximized as best it can. Yeah. So this program really does help. We reach out to creditors. We find out where the challenges are, and we really try to correct them before the person is ready to make this big purchase, so that they're left paying and being able to deal with the best finance companies available.
Yeah, well, that's great. And you're in a great position that you have all these like credentials under your belt that you can just you can go from one thing to another and
yes.
and help people.
It's so funny. My youngest daughter, when I did obtain my real estate license, my youngest daughter, who's now 22, she said to me, "Mom, you now have all the accreditations in Florida to do everything." And I was like, "Well, not quite everything, but I'm certainly
working on it, right?"
Absolutely.
You're young.
One license at a time. Absolutely. But I enjoy what I do, and I am a people person. And if I could help somebody, whether in our community or not in our community, I really do feel that I was put here to do that. So I'm very, very comfortable doing that.
Speaking of doing things, I remember that was it December? You did a toy drive with Geico.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
There was a car. What was it? Oh my gosh.
Cartel baggers.
Oh, right.
Cartel baggers. It was at the Harley Davidson South. And yes, so because we don't have many community events, I was so pleased to be able to join and the Cartel baggers and Harley Davidson with the Marines to do Toys for Tots. I think it was just really a great opportunity for us to serve. And not only that, but us to meet our community. It's something that we really hadn't had in the events world. So I was just really, really pleased to do that. I love participating in toy drives, particularly. As a young child, I actually benefited from those toy drives.
No way,
6 years
really?
old. Yes, I did. I did. So I think that's where my care and the service of serving our community.
Well, you come from Cuban immigrants.
I do.
Right.
My mom was a Cuban immigrant. And they were young parents. And so really that was part of my life. So
you're part of the American dream.
Part of the American dream. Absolutely.
You are,
I feel very privileged to be able to have the opportunity to give back. So that to me is like really big in my world.
And it's so cool to have the Marines come when you do the Toys for Tots things.
Yes,
because I've done, because they do them different places around town, so I've covered a lot of those, and it's amazing what they collect. I even have a client that does a Christmas party every year, Sime Realty, and they collect so many hundreds of toys that, and they were doing it for Lighthouse for the Blind, that the Lighthouse quit collecting from other people.
Yeah,
they said, "No, we got enough."
I will tell you that we did also a collection for Easter seals as well, and Hasbro came in and they donated so many items, so many toys.
How did you manage that?
Well, actually, it's a funny story, but through a mutual friend.
Connections.
It is through a mutual friend, and he was able to really align everything, and it was so wonderful because we had such an overflow that we wound up giving to another organization here. So it was fantastic.
That's always such a blessing when you have more than you need.
It is, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially in this time, it was so hard for so many people. So we were really happy to be able to support and give back.
I remember when my kids were in high school, and they went with the church to the Homestead area.
Yes.
And we're giving out, and they said, "Wow, it gives them such an appreciation."
Absolutely.
So, So maybe you need to have a young youth group that starts out with Gilded Lilies.
Yeah, I think that sounds
and grow
great.
them into it. Kind of like they do with church.
I agree.
They do the Sunday school, and they get the kids hooked.
Yeah. So, it's so funny. In 2019, kind of when I came into Gilded Lilies, that's exactly one of my approaches was. I was like, if any children need community hours, this is a great opportunity to raise community hours. So whether it be actually, because the Easter Seals Foundation, they actually have a beautiful culinary program for teenage students.
Really?
So yes, it is absolutely wonderful. They have a commercial sized kitchen. The kids go in there and you should see what they cook, Gloria. It's amazing. They actually feed the school.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And so even as visitors go in, there's been many organizations that come in and they prepare like breakfast and lunch for them. And it's just absolutely fabulous.
Would they do that for an organization that said, okay, let's have a fundraiser for you, but we'll come in and we'll pay for you to, is that what happens?
Actually, a lot of
Or they
companies
do it just for
they
exposure?
just do it just for exposure, just
Okay.
to showcase what the students are learning and what they're doing. And I think that people in the community become aware and they become interested. So, and then they start, donating
That's a
and
great,
also holding fundraisers and also becoming interested to be on the board and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
I have, that's truly what I love so much about this program, because you get to feel hands-on and see the growth. So
oh,
I
for
love it.
sure. And now the kids that are in the programs are doing the cooking?
They are. They
Amazing.
are. They are. It is truly
So what a
amazing.
sense of self-worth that must give them,
Absolutely. And not only that, but it also
accomplishment.
get accomplishment. Yes, definitely. And it gives them something to do after they finish their schooling. So they have
Exactly.
a vocation to actually go into a restaurant and to know what to expect and to be able to prepare meals and to serve meals. And so it truly is. And it helps their
Wow.
families and just helps them, their sense of purpose. So
That's amazing.
truly, truly excited about that.
Well, our time is up.
Oh, wow. Went by so quickly.
See, I know. She was worried, but I said, no, it's going to be easy. So, Jackie, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being my sponsor.
Thank you.
I think we're going to alternate for a little bit, but I appreciate your coming on board.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on your new GeiGo office.
Thank
and
you.
All things Jackie.
Yes, all things Jackie M.
Yeah. So look forward to seeing everybody next week. Thank you for viewing and have a great week. Be kind to each other and stay safe.